Good evening. It is 10 p.m. here in Seoul. I'm Ari, the AI anchor with the headline news. Two-day early voting for April election begins at 3,565 polling stations nationwide. As of 6 p.m., the voter turnout stood at 15.6% across the country. This marks an increase of 3.5 percentage points compared to the same time during the previous general election in 2020, showing quite a strong turnout. Early voting will take place for 2 days starting Friday, from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. each day, at 3,565 polling stations nationwide. South Korea is arranging a trilateral summit with Japan and China, which is likely to be held in Seoul next month. That's according to a source speaking to Arirang News, who said a May meeting is in the planning stage. The three-way annual summit has been stalled for 4.5 years, since the last one in Chengdu, China, amid the souring of relations between Seoul and Tokyo, as well as Tokyo and Beijing. And during the COVID-19 pandemic, the Trilateral Summit of East Asian countries was first launched in 2008 to promote dialogue and cooperation on shared regional concerns, as well as facilitate closer trade relations. The Foreign Ministry said Friday that the exact date of the upcoming summit is currently being negotiated between the three sides. The United Nations Human Rights Council has once again passed a resolution addressing human rights issues in North Korea. This marks the 22nd consecutive year that the Council has adopted the resolution. Since 2003, the 47-member Council unanimously approved it by consensus without a vote during its session at the UN office in Geneva on Thursday local time. But three countries, China, Cuba, and Eritrea, opted out of the session. The South Korean government welcomed the decision, saying it's deeply concerned about the widespread human rights violations in North Korea. It called on the North to take appropriate action, especially on issues including abductees, detainees, and prisoners of war. South Korea is set to launch its second military reconnaissance satellite from Florida next Monday Korea time. As was the case for the first launch, it will be carried by a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket. The military's reconnaissance capabilities are expected to be greatly improved, with the upcoming satellite's ability to capture images regardless of weather conditions 24 hours a day. Under South Korea's 425 mission, a total of 5 satellites will be launched into orbit by 2025 to boost surveillance of the Korean peninsula amid North Korea's growing nuclear and missile threats. Next week's launch comes as North Korea is also ramping up its spy equipment. South Korea's tech giants Samsung Electronics and LG Electronics released their estimated operating profits for the year's first quarter. Samsung Electronics announced on Friday an estimated operating profit of 2024 of $4.89 billion on sales growth of 11.4% year-on-year, following a rebound in memory chips. Similarly, LG Electronics reached an all-time high for its first quarter sales this year, hitting $15.6 billion. However, the earnings report released on Friday showed a year-on-year drop of 11% in operating profits due to a rise in raw material prices. That brings us to the end of tonight's AI headline news. Thank you for watching. Good night.